to intro this?
I am ready.
Set?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the WebEx presentation from the Business School New Brunswick about the marketing major. In a moment, Professor Mark Kalin from the department will start his presentation, but I just wanted to set you up some ground rules. My name is Dean Kirsten Schnatter. I'm an undergraduate academic advising dean in the New Brunswick program. You'll notice that we have muted all of your microphones for this presentation. That's quite purposeful. If you have any questions, please do not unmute yourself. You'll notice that in one of the widgets you have a chat feature, and we're asking you to submit any questions that you might have via the chat feature. Myself, as well as Professor Ron Richter from the finance department, who has joined us tonight, and the student marketing majors that we have, Catherine, Mariana, and also Matthew. We will be keeping track of the questions that you submit to us via the chat feature, and we will present them to Professor Kalin when he's done with his presentation, okay? So we're not ignoring you. If we don't give you a response in chat right away, we think it's more efficient to keep track of the questions and just give you a live answer when he's done presenting. And whoever's best suited to respond to the question, whether that's Professor Kalin, myself as an academic services dean, or one of the majors, one of the undergraduate majors, can respond to the question in live time. Okay, so if you would be so kind, leave your microphones muted, but please do feel free to submit any questions that you have via the chat feature. Okay, and please do, when you submit the chat, you can select who you're asking the question of. You should probably indicate all panelists or everyone, just so the best suited to answer the question later on can do so. All right? Are you ready to get started, Professor Kalin?
I am. If our guests, and welcome to all of you, are ready, and I'll assume you are, why don't you take just a quick second, everybody, put in just a hello as a chat to our team. That way we'll know you're here and they'll know you're there, and that's a nice way to get just our first touch of experience. So I see a couple of people starting to pop up here saying hello. Please do. Only takes a second. Know how to there we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, hello, thank you. Very nice. Great. So as everybody's logging in just to say hello to us, let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Mark Kalin, and I am excited to be with you this evening, but even more excited to be a member of the RBS faculty. And I've been at RBS. I'm completing my 12th year there. I'm actually a veteran from business, and I'll share that just briefly with you. I am what's called an NTT, or non-tenure track professor. What that means is we are full-time professors, just like our traditional tenure tracks. They spend a lot of their efforts doing research and moving forward knowledge for all of us. We non-tenure tracks, though, come from business, and our responsibility is more to interact with our students. We teach a lot more courses than the tenure tracks, by the way, but also to interact with professional business folks, creating opportunities both on campus and off campus for our students to meet, greet, interact, have chances for all sorts of internships, case study competitions, a wide variety of things that they do. And we as professional practice professors fill that role, as well as teaching a lot of courses in class. And I think many of our students enjoy the combination of tenure tracks with their traditional approaches and our non-tenured track professors who bring in their very valuable experiences from their own businesses. I bring in, I shouldn't tell you how many years, but over 40 anyway, working in the industry, and I still love it, and so do most of our, maybe all of our faculty. We're a very energetic group, and the RBS Business School with our fabulous administrators, and you should know we really respect our administrators and know that they set a great course for us, from our top deans up in Newark to our deans down here, Dean Shatner, Dean Markowitz. We have a great group. So should you and or your family, your Join us. We hope we'll see you. Let me tell you just a little bit first about the actual marketing department itself. Our marketing department is not our largest department at Rutgers Business School. Of course, we would tell you that we're the best anyway. We have a lot of good departments, but we do have a terrific group of professors. As I said, we have tenure track, tenured professors. We have tenure track in-process professors in our department. We have non-tenure track folks like myself. We also add to that a wide array of what we call PTLs, or part-time lecturers, which is how I started at Rutgers. I taught at several other universities as an adjunct part-time lecturer while very involved in my business career. And one of those schools happened to become Rutgers, and I was invited about 10 years ago to be a full-time member of the faculty, and joined. I am now completing my 9th full-time year, as I mentioned before, my 12th year. So you get that level of consistency in our group as well. We bring all sorts of real experiences to all of you. For example, I am a former brand manager, group brand manager, vice president of marketing, and vice president of sales. I bring the experiences of working at a couple of Fortune 500 companies for nearly 10 years. I then was in some mid-sized companies for a while, and then entered the world of entrepreneurial ventures, of which I was in about 6 of them over the course of 20 years in a variety of areas: place-based media, field and event marketing, uh, all sorts of things. And so, like my fellow marketing department members, we bring into our classes that wide variety of experiences and the reality, we believe, of what's going on in the real world. So we use textbooks and other materials to learn concepts and content, of course, but I believe we take our students well beyond that place, to a place where they can start to imagine just how effective they might be in various areas. And by the way, you should also know that, like myself, many of our professors sponsor independent studies, work on case study competitions. I have coached the Johnson & Johnson case study for a number of years, and I'm proud to share with you that my teams are the only teams, I believe, from Rutgers to have had a first place national finish and a second place. Very proud of those students. They did a great job. But it shows you that our marketing students can compete with virtually anybody from any school. We have really, really good students here, and I'm very proud of them. And I was lucky to go to very good schools when I was younger, and I hope that we bring that same excitement, stimuli to our students. I believe we try that all the time. So what does it mean to be one of our students? What's a career in marketing all about? Perhaps you'll chat to one of my 3 students. They're all excellent. They're seniors in one of my marketing strategy classes, joining us this evening to assist each of you with some special responses to your questions. Our marketing department trains our students for a wide variety of marketing career opportunities. We do things as focused as going to to client companies and creating jobs in brand management and similar areas like that, which means really running products for a big company. Johnson & Johnson, for example, is a great partner of our department and our university, and they offer some internships. I've had students get jobs there, of course, and students who have done co-ops there, several in fact. So that's the kind of relationships that we try to bring. Professional practice folks like myself look to bring in industry, combine it along with classical marketing foundational work to provide a very holistic experience. And we encourage our students to get involved with internships. We have them in internships in advertising agencies, consumer packaged goods companies, a lot of data and communications driven companies. So whatever industry you may be interested in as a potential candidate or student, know that a marketing background and our marketing department will do our best to make you highly qualified and support you in that process. Because you know what? We want you coming back later to speak to our students. I have had many of my former students come back and generously give of their time and energy to talk to our students and share with them their experiences, their learnings, some of their failures, things that didn't go quite so well. You know, we're not always perfect. We're not always successful. We all hit bumps in the road, but we have really wonderful students, and the family of Rutgers alumni, I'm sure others have already spoken to all of you about that, but our B School alumni group, we now have a wonderful associate dean running the program. Her name is Dean Leiden, Sharon Leiden, and she is involved in getting your experience at Rutgers doesn't end when you graduate. Sorry about that, Matt. Sorry, Mariana. Katie, I still want to see you and hear from you once you graduate. Yes, we have those kinds of relationships. And as a professor here, nothing gives me more pleasure than seeing the success and achievements that my students and all of our students, but really mine, of course, are able to achieve, and the feedback that they give back to us later. So I'll thank them now for that and let you guys know that your experience with us at RBS does not have to be limited to just your time here, but rather can be something that extends for a while and allows us to create a long-term relationship, and we hope you'll have that. So what is marketing? Somebody does have a mic on, by the way, because it's
Yes, I was just going to say, there are one or two people who aren't noticing my note that says your microphone is on. We really need you to all stay in mute mode. Otherwise, we get horrible feedback and it's hard to hear the professor. So if you could have a look and make sure you're muted, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dean Shatner. Appreciate that.
Continue.
Okay, so let me tell you what I think marketing is, and maybe I have a little feeling here after 40 some odd years of attempting to practice it. Marketing is ever evolving, ever changing, ever challenging. It's why I love it so much. It's exciting. It's not boring. Every day is different, and every day challenges us to think a little bit differently, to focus at people in the world, to focus on the consumers of the world. I am a consumer products marketer. Marketing is for both business to business and consumer to business. But I am a consumer products marketer, and I believe our job is to identify the unmet needs of our potential market, our potential consumers, to design, develop, and deliver exciting solutions to those needs. And that can be in a wide array of fields and categories, from consumer packaged goods, that's my specialty, things delivered in a package. I've worked on products like Trident gum and Northern bathroom tissue and Dexatrim appetite suppressants, and I ran the Schick razor business for a couple of years. Note, I've been in many, many product categories, and as a vendor supplier to virtually every consumer packaged goods company in America that you might name, from Procter & Gamble to Unilever to J&J to Nestle to very small ones like Polly-O cheese. Lots of categories. That's part of the excitement and fun. For me, it's a continual learning experience. I never will know everything, and to me, I love that. So if you're that type of person who wants to wake up in the morning and be excited and challenged to get up and go, this might be an area for your consideration. I feel that way. So let me tell you just a little bit about what comprises the marketing curricula here at RBS. We, as some of you who are on a little bit early with us as we were just getting started, might have heard Dean Shatner say to you, well, introduction to marketing is not considered a marketing course for the major because it's a required course for all RBS students. I am not the expert in all the required courses, but I do know that every student, no matter what your major is, if you're going to graduate from RBS, you will get an introduction to marketing, and we have a wonderful foundation course. I am one of many professors that teach that subject. We have planned and scheduled 11 sections next semester. Give you an idea of how popular it is, and some of those sections are quite large. I had 97 students in mine last fall. That was a big class. And most of my other classes are either in the 40s and 30s or even some in the 20s as well. So we have a variety of sizes as you get further into the major. But for Introduction to Marketing, which is our foundation course that supplies basic concepts, basic vocabulary, basic understandings of the various roles that the characters and participants in the marketing world play, and many, many classical items like Boston Consulting's group growth matrices, for example, and growth strategies. We introduce all of these various concepts to our students, generally in large lecture format, but most of our other courses in our department will start to get much more personalized, and that's also very exciting. We have a department that works hard to create relationships with our students so that you feel you're not just a number walking in. But I hope my students would tell you, and please feel free to reach out. You've got a few of them there. I hope they'll tell you their professors, or at least this professor, works hard to want them to want to be in class. I, of course, require it. I take attendance. I don't use many PowerPoints, others do. But what I do is I work hard to engage my students to the growth pattern of how to learn, how to communicate, and opening their eyes not just to the content of the course, but the excitement and potential of the subject and the potential of a business career in total. I hope that made some sense, and I see Matt said 100% true. Matt, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. So let me tell you about the rest of our courses, because we have a wide array of really neat and exciting courses. Required courses on the undergraduate level, once you've completed introduction, you cannot take these first courses in your freshman year, I believe, and Dean Shatner will give you all of those specifics if you have an issue on what you can take in which years a little bit. But we have 3 required courses that you must include within your 4 years at school, or your 3 years by the time you've done intro in your freshman year. The first of those that I recommend to all my students is marketing research. It should be your second course. It's a fascinating subject, but more importantly, marketing research provides us the tools to understand our challenges and tasks, to generate data and to analyze that data into information. So it all starts with information, which creates knowledge. Those are the exact words I've used in class, and a few of my students might tell you. Kalin says, knowledge is power. Let's go get more knowledge. And we have tools to do that. And the market research course is well designed to assist you in learning all of that. The next step in your learning process would be consumer behavior. I am actually not a graduate business major. Back in the day, my mother told me, go get a regular education first, and I listened to her. And so I went off and I went to school. I'm a history major, an education minor. I'm a little unique among our faculty. I've also taught high school and middle school a couple of years here and there, 3 years in the 2000s and way back when in the, I won't tell you how long ago, time frame. But I like history. I incorporate history and language arts, both of which I am a qualified teacher, according to at least according to the state of New Jersey. I am a well-qualified and liberal arts. You too. Nice. Anyway, so I did that as an undergrad, went to high school, went and taught high school for a year, and was back in business school the next year when I realized where my inclinations and focus were. But because I like the social sciences a lot, history, sociology, anthropology, I read a lot of that kind of stuff, I build a lot of history and other subjects of social matter into my consumer behavior course, because that is our course about how people operate, make decisions, interact, various influences on them that influence their decision making, and a variety of other things. So consumer behavior, a very interesting course, and also a very popular course. We will have 2 sections of that next semester, and that's one of the courses that is offered virtually. If I look at my list here, I believe we have that one is offered in spring and fall. We offer a lot of chances because it's required. The next course, so we have marketing research, consumer behavior, and intro. All 3 of those are offered in fall and spring. I already looked. I did my homework a little bit. And so we have lots of opportunities. The final course I will tell you that is a required course, and it's one that I teach this semester. I'm actually teaching 3 sections of it, is marketing strategy, and the 3 students joining us tonight are all in that section with me. I think we have about 43 students. That's a fascinating class. I hope you'll chat to them and even ask them. You have that call in, right? Thank you. A call-in phone is open. They left. Didn't mean to make them feel bad. Okay, we're back. Okay, marketing strategy. I think if you become a marketing major and get to marketing strategy, ask Katie or Mariana or Matt how their strategy game is going. They are involved in a highly complex, semester-long strategic competition requiring them to run companies with multiple brands, to alter those brands, to improve them, to advertise, promote, sell, to hire sales forces or hire them or fire them, to do market research, and a whole wide variety of other decision-making issues that are done weekly. Each week's like a year for us. Seems like it goes 7 days, doesn't even feel like a year. Amazing. But we do that each week. We update, and then my students are challenged in team format, and they're competitive teams. We have 12 of them in our class, to identify and try to build their businesses and raise their stock prices. And I think they tell you it is a capstone project that incorporates information and skills and things learned throughout their full time here at RBS. And that's its intent. This is to pull it all together and really help us all become process making and process fulfilling marketing managers as we look to enter the real world. But we don't stop with just those 4. Your major is also complemented by 4 additional courses. So if you include Intro to Marketing, that would be 8 courses out of your, what do we have, about 60 courses in school? I don't even know how many total. For a degree, what's our 120 credits, right? So whatever numbers of courses that would be, that's 40 courses for most of us. Most of our courses are 3 credits, a few are 2, a few might be 4. Mostly 3. That's fairly standard.
The marketing major would be about 57 credits, Professor Kalin, and that includes your marketing credits and the 35 credits of business core.
There we go. And beyond that, you'll find if you join us, so when you join us, let's be very positive, when you join us, that you also will be taking some courses that I think are come out of SAS, the School of Arts and Sciences, right? I believe my students also have science and language and some of those basic requirements to make us quote unquote educated people, as my mother used to say. All righty, yeah. All good.
They'll have about roughly 14 courses in their general education requirements, what we call the SAS Core. So everybody's going to have to take a certain number of courses in natural sciences, writing, arts and humanities, etc. That is true.
Let me add to what Dean Shatner just shared. That makes school fun. Life is more than just one focus. It's more than finance or accounting or business. And we want our students to be very holistic people and to be able to have very full and exciting experiences. And so you are able to customize literally based on all of those course offerings, a very exciting curricula based on your own personal interests, which may in fact build upon the specific needs or requirements of your majors. So let me share with you for a few minutes now some of the various electives that we offer. Some of them we offer 1 semester. A few of them, marketing consulting for small businesses, generally run by a wonderful professor named Eric Tancre, who is a good friend of ours. And Professor Tancre has been doing this for a number of years now. He's excellent. He comes from industry like myself. He's an NTT, and he literally gets our students together in teams with actual corporate entities, and they become part of that formal organization in a team, and they work on a project with the assistance or for the direction of those actual companies as though they're consultants to the company. They act as consultants. So that's very exciting, and we offer that twice a year. That's available both semesters. That's something you might want to consider. It's fun. Additionally, we offer Introduction to Advertising, which I've taught many times. That's generally a fall course, not the first course. By the way, none of these electives should be taken as your first courses. Please focus in on those 4 cores. They're going to give you the basics, the foundation, and our other courses, the way I teach, and I've taught almost every course on this list at some point, is to build upon what the other courses have already delivered to our students. So that is pretty important. So thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so we said Introduction to Advertising. The world of advertising is dramatically changing. I come from the world of consumer products, marketing, advertising, and promotion. as do many of our advertising teachers who have worked in the field as well as studied it. But advertising today is changing. It's differing. So we have a new course that was approved by, it's been run for a year and approved by faculty. It's now added to our list in the spring. Digital marketing. It was designed and developed by a professor named Stacy Schwartz. Stacy is so good. Believe it or not, I taught the first digital course ever here at RBS. I had been teaching a course, advertising on the internet, for a couple of years. We extended that to become a digital course. I taught it the first year, and I recruited a wonderful guest lecturer named Stacy Schwartz, and realized not only was she more passionate about the subject than almost anybody I had ever met, but she knew a heck of a lot more than me and would do a much better job teaching it. And we recruited her the following year as an adjunct. And about a year or two later, she called me on the phone and said, "Hey, there's an opening." She called me because we're friends. "An opening for a full-timer in your department. What do you think?" "I'm not sure. My kids aren't totally grown." And I said, "Stacy, apply. You're fabulous. There's very few great opportunities like this, and our students will greatly benefit from you." She lives in Somerville, by the way, not so far away. Anyway, Stacy is wonderful. So if you do get a chance to take either intro, she teaches a lot of big intro sections, or any of her digital courses, and she has built that whole course and expanded it, both undergrad, grad, I believe, that would be great. So that's our digital course, utilizing and teaching how we utilize digital technologies and techniques in our marketing world. We also offer retail marketing. So if you're interested in the retail world, I just designed and developed a new retail operations and strategy course. It's actually a graduate course for our Masters of Fashion program, and I, with much heartache, canceled it for this summer because it's just the time to have a course with 8 or 9 guest lecturers coming in. But retail marketing, if the retail world is of interest to you, it's a big, exciting place, and there's lots and lots of really great opportunities. So retail marketing is one of our courses. Business to business, we have a course that just focuses on if you want to be a marketer in a business-oriented organization rather than a consumer. Each of us has different interests, so if business and business-to-business marketing is something of excitement, we offer that as well. All of those courses are offered in the fall. We add to that a new topic. It's listed under special topics, but as you all know, data and information and its importance, big data, as they talk about in the world these days, is growing, and we have grabbed that as well for our department because marketing data is critical. We now have a brand new course that was approved this year, will be offered next year, called Marketing Analytics. We have a similar graduate level major. Here on the undergraduate level, I believe we're developing a major called BAIT, B-A-I-T, Business Information and Analytic, Business Information Analytics and Analytic Technology, I think. Anyway, we are offering ways for students to expand their knowledge of these key growth areas and to see the new industries that are evolving all the time. We don't sit still and just teach you what happened yesterday. Our mission is to let you know what happened yesterday so that you can begin to dream of and fantasize and calculate and develop and design and execute tomorrow, because we all live in tomorrow, not in yesterday. That's pretty good, right? There we go. Okay, let me also say we have a digital market, and the digital marketing course is also listed, as I mentioned. I think that's in the fall this year, actually. We have a half a dozen courses as well that will be offered were offered last semester in spring. I assume we normally offer a fairly similar array spring to spring and fall to fall, but we do change a little bit. So this next springs are not up, of course, but this past spring, we had new product planning. We had international marketing. If you have a broad view of the world and feel that moving and perhaps working in an international, either overseas or for an international corporation with operations overseas or globalized things, and this is very important. We see it in our supply chain major, which is a wonderful major as well, and we see it here. So international marketing, should you have that focus, we offer that. We offer sales management. I was a sales manager at one point in my career. I was a VP of sales and ran some small sales forces. It's a course I sometimes teach and some of our others teach. We have one of our adjuncts, a wonderful man. He teaches, he's a former senior vice president of Panasonic sales, and he comes in, he's been teaching for us for years. That's Ray Liebman, for those who might know him. So we bring in specialists as well in whatever areas we're able to identify, folks who bring in unique and special experiences, and you would find Ray to be not only incredibly entertaining, but also incredibly knowledgeable with a lot of depth. Social media and mobile marketing. Okay, that's all you guys. You're the social media mobile people. It's not my generation, although we're growing on Facebook, not me. That's your parents or grandparents who are the Facebook people now. I know you've already passed by. Now it's phone, it's Instagram, it's Pinterest, it's all many other methodologies to utilize these technologies. And we now have a new course all about social media and mobile marketing, or the application of a lot of these social things. I myself don't even know what they're going to cover in totality. Wish I could almost sit in myself, but we offer that to you as well to build. Finally, two more. One of my favorite subjects, brand management, because I was a brand manager. All those products I mentioned to you earlier, Schick razors, Trident gum, Chiclets gum, Northern bathroom tissue, and a variety of others, razors and blades. I was a brand manager, so that's one of my chosen areas of interest. And this past year, I taught a couple of sections of that. But we also have some other wonderful professors who also teach. In fact, there is virtually no subject I've mentioned that only a single professor covers. We have several in each area generally, and all of them bring excellent experiences. We have one last course next spring, or which was this spring, I guess, or I think it was just approved, and that's artificial intelligence, AI, in marketing and its application. And for those of you who are familiar with AI, and I'm sure quite a few of you are, you know it's not really artificial intelligence. What it is it's machine learning and the abilities to teach machines to build their knowledge base in order to make more and more in-depth and complex decisions. And it is a hugely growing field in the business world today. And we are also bringing that to our students now. Our faculty has been working on the course, and it was approved, and you will see that one appear as well. I think it's good to mention that we don't sit still here in the marketing department. We are, each of us, unique and individual in our own ways. Our tenure tracks have done interesting and unique and different informational studies, research studies. They've added to the bank of knowledge. There are about 6 or 8 non-tenure tracks like myself, and we come from a wide variety of industries as well, from the advertising, the product world. We have folks from AT&T who used to be there. I should be able to tell you a few of the others, but they all come from well-deserved, generally large industry experiences, and we bring that into our classrooms. And I like to think of my class as a modified seminar laboratory. I don't know if my students have heard me use the term modified seminar before, but that's the style I use. And I think our challenge to all of you students and parents too, we like you, but all you students is we want to challenge you to learn to think, to learn to challenge what exists today so that you'll be on the forefront of what happens tomorrow. And if I keep going, I'm just going to keep repeating myself probably now a bit. So let me hand the table for the moment to Dean Shatner, and I'm here and available and would be pleased to respond to anything that's been raised during the last half hour or so. And before I even do that, one thing I tell all my students, as I also teach them presentation skills, I've written and published on the subject a number of articles and things, always thank your audience. And so while we're not done, and we will stay here and assist you and share with you as much as we possibly can, I want to thank you for a couple of things. Number one, I'd like to thank you for considering our university and our business school for you and your families, if it's parents or for you students. I want to thank you for coming and joining us today and listening to what we have to share so that each of the students can make a well-informed decision that's best for their future. I want to thank you just for coming today and giving me the courtesy of your patience, your interest. And now I'll add to that finally your questions, and Dean Shatner will add to that, send us your children, should you be the parents out there. All righty.
Sure.
So
There was only one question that I saw, Professor, that I wanted to address, and feel free, now that the professor's done with his main presentation, to submit any additional questions that you have. I see some of them starting to come up now, so let me just get them kind of in order of when they were sent, first in, first out, right? So someone asked what specifically the general education classes are that you have to take. So there's no specific list of you have to take these courses. Fortunately, you have a lot of courses to choose from for each of the gen ed requirements. Basically, students in the business school and students also at arts and sciences follow at Rutgers what's called the Sas Core Curriculum. So you're meeting a lot of learning goals in a number of different areas. For instance, in the natural sciences, you'll be taking 2 classes. An area that we call contemporary challenges, a lot of diversity courses, contemporary problems. So 2 classes for contemporary challenges. You'll have to take a historical analysis class, social analysis too, but social analysis is covered by Intro to Microeconomics. So you'll find a lot of areas where your pre-business courses like economics and stats and calculus actually overlap the gen ed requirements, which is good. You need to take 2 courses in the arts and humanities, expository writing 101 plus 2 more writing classes. One we would call revision-based writing and one is discipline-based writing. And let me think, any that I missed, I think that is pretty much it. I mentioned arts and humanities already. Some of you come in, you know, with your AP credits in bio and other courses like that. And yes, of course, if you get the 4s and the 5s, that would fulfill, you know, a science requirement. So it's not like we necessarily make you take additional science here if you have AP credits in science areas and science disciplines. I should mention that the university is still working on how to handle AP exams for the exam year 2020, in that the exam delivery is changing to an online exam and a shorter exam. I think in the end they will probably come to the determination that the 4s and 5s will still be honored, but I don't want to get ahead of myself on that. Through those official answers that I'm not allowed to make a determination on. So hopefully they will have a response for the AP exams 2020 soon. I think, was there anything else about gen ed? No, so when you come in as a freshman, in other words, you're not taking all pre-business or business content for a semester, you're taking some of your gen ed requirements, some pre-business, and then maybe a business content class that we let you take as early as the first semester of freshman year, okay? Let me see what other questions came in and see if some of them are for you, Professor Kalin. Are most of the business classes offered on Livingston campus, or are they offered on other campuses as well? So is it okay for business students to live on other campuses? It's absolutely okay for business students to live on other campuses. So if you had another campus in mind, your pre-business courses and your general ed requirements, which is mostly what you're doing as a freshman, right? Those courses could just be as easily on the Douglas Cook campus as on the Livingston campus. So as a freshman, there's no particular mandate for you to live on Livingston just because the business school building is there. That just basically makes it easier for you to find us because we're housed in the business school building, your advisors. But if you really dug the College Ave campus when you did a campus tour in the fall or a campus tour, you know, pre-COVID-19, then by all means, College Ave campus, I don't blame you. That's sort of the heart of the social life, the College Ave campus. Although if your parents are listening, I probably shouldn't be saying that out loud because that means that you're not going to be living on the College Ave campus if they have anything to say about it, right? Campus has a distinctly different feel, right? The heart of the social life is College Ave, and that's where you'll find a lot of the ivy covered buildings. The business school campus, Livingston, that's a pretty happening campus, very self-contained, right? Has its own diner, probably the best dining hall on campus, and a large number of traditional dorming rooms. So a lot of freshmen are there. You know, you have the Douglas Cook campus with the College Farm. So every campus feels a little bit different. So you do not have to, because your dean's office is on Livingston. There's nothing that requires you to live on Livingston. But if you had your heart set on a particular campus, I would encourage you to get your housing form in sooner rather than later once you decide to commit, because you can rank your choices of campus, and they try to give you one of your first or second choice if you get your housing form in early. And by early, that means like sometime in the latter half of April, like actually leading up to May 1st. Let's see. Oh, and the classes, yes.
First half of that question, which you addressed where they live, but not where we educate them.
The business classes, the actual business classes are mostly on Livingston. That is correct. But the thing is, you're not taking too many business school classes first thing. You're still working on pre-business, right? Economics and stats and Calc 1. But Professor Kalin is correct. Once you actually do declare your major and move on to mostly business content classes, then yes, the majority of those are on the Livingston campus.
I might also add for you students that a few years ago, the Livingston campus was sort of an also ran in the realm of the 5 campuses. We were the smallest, and our facilities were not as up to speed as some of the other campuses. If you've been to our campus, you'll see we have about the finest dining hall on campus now and a relatively new student center. But most importantly, the erection of our super terrific glass monster in the sky, our business school, which has given our campus a whole big look, and all of the apartment dorms which ring that part of the campus. They became, from the day they opened, the most popular housing on campus because they're beautiful new apartment dorms. We now have a variety of restaurants, a Starbucks, a Qdobo, Henry's Diner. That's for Henry Rutgers, by the way. That's our namesake from way back when. You now know something special that most don't. His first name was Henry. So there we go, a Revolutionary War hero, and I believe signer of the Declaration of Independence, or Constitution, one of the two. So the Livingston campus, as you move up in your years at school, lots of our students love College Ave, of course, and I see a few mentioning they live down there. But Livingston campus has now become a very hot, very popular campus, and I teach a lot of night classes as well as day classes. And even when I left my night class, one of my students, and this was a night class Monday nights until a few weeks ago, of course. And she was heading up a whole organization and a meeting, and her group met at 10 o'clock in our classroom at night. So there are, in fact, lots of social activities also going on. I'm sure there are at other campuses as well, but the Livingston campus has become pretty hot. I think we went from worst to first, so I like being there. Thank you.
If you talk to any of your parents, if any of your parents are Rutgers alum, if they haven't been to campus lately, they might be of the ilk, you don't want to live on Livingston. Oh my God. Back in the day when I went to Rutgers and when Professor Richter went to Rutgers, if you didn't live on Livingston, then having to go over there for a class was like punishment for something that you had done wrong. That is no longer the case. People fight to live on the Livingston campus because it's become so happening. It is a far cry from what it was when I was around in the mid 80s. It is like the happening campus at this point because it is so convenient. And a lot of freshman classes are over there, and the majority of the business courses are over there.
I think all of them.
Yes. Well, something like financial accounting, Professor Kalin, anything that's in the business administration minor to be accessible to arts and sciences students, things like intro to marketing, financial accounting. They try to put some of those on College Ave to be accessible to students that don't live on Livy. So that, they try to do that. But you're right. Once it's actually a course for declared majors only, the vast majority of those are on Livingston. So, Professor Rick,
Yeah, if I see one of the questions there, which I think I can answer, and then I got to head out to the real estate. There was a question there about, can you tell me more about the Future Business Leader Program? My name is Ron Richter. I'm a finance professor, but I'm actually the co-advisor for the Phi Beta Lambda, which is the Future Business Leaders at the college level. So if that's what the question that you're asking. Our Rutgers New Brunswick is the largest chapter in New Jersey. And we probably have about 30 to 40 members on an annual basis. We hold the largest event of the year with all clubs on Rutgers campus. It's called Dining with the Distinguished. That is an opportunity where we usually get about 200 or 250 people to attend. Professor Kalin always attends. I always attend. And that is an opportunity for our students to network with business executives, which is very important when you come to a business school, whether it's our business school or some other business school. But we do have a very vibrant Phi Beta Lambda chapter here, which for you guys who are in high school, that's the college version. So I just wanted to get that in, guys. I'm going to have to head out to the real estate meeting.
Sure.
You guys have fun.
And I see other questions that I know that Professor Kalin or I can address. Professor Kalin, do you want to take this one? A research question came up. How easy is it to get in touch with professors to facilitate research? So my answer is a short one. Yeah, very easy. Email them or show up to their office hours. Do you want to address research a little bit?
Well, there's a duality of question here. Are you asking about research you would like to do or research that the professors do? And by the way, both occur. We have lots of students who undertake projects. Sometimes they become independent studies. And in that case, you would identify and ask of a professor, would they be willing to be your independent study advisor? I have done anywhere from 1 to as many one semester as 6, but that was a little crazy. But a few students, most of in the marketing department, you should know our intent is to have you in our classes rather than independent studies. That's the directive our chair would like. But that being said, identify a subject outside of what we offer, and we'll figure out a way to help you delve into what you want. So that was if you want to do research. As far as getting involved in professorial research, I, being a non-tenure track, don't do independent research. I write stuff here and there, but I'm not a researcher and would not even play one on TV, as the expression goes. But many of our very fabulous and highly published and noted, and we have a lot of them, by the way, who great. We just had a guy on CBS Sunday morning yesterday, one of our department, not our departments, our RBS's professors talking. So we are highly noted all over the place. And if you want to assist some professor in their research as a research assistant of some sort, there are ways to do that as well. And so your ability to expand beyond just a course on research to getting your hands a little dirty, those opportunities are there. And beyond that would be the opportunity with somebody to identify an outside company that needs some research and set up a project and run it for them. And you would find that marketing consulting for small businesses, for example, or our new products courses, for example, have researchable elements incorporated in them as well. I hope that assisted.
Okay, I can grab this one. I'm a rising sophomore and pre-business student that has completed all but one of the pre-business requirements. All but one. Okay. Is Intro to Marketing a good course to take in the fall? So when you say you're a rising sophomore, I'm assuming you're transferring from another school or transferring from county college or something. In the fall, what you would do, you'll have your transfer registration days in the summer, and our transfer advisor, Tom Moore, will be in touch with you soon. You should be doing in the fall that last pre-business course, right? That's a must. And Intro to Marketing is definitely one of the business content courses that we allow a new transfer student to take, okay? So you could add something like Intro to Marketing from the fall if you're an external transfer. And I'm making that distinction because there are sometimes freshmen fresh out of high school that call themselves sophomores because they have a lot of AP credits, but you're still a freshman to us, all right? If you're coming out fresh out of high school, you're still a first year, and the earliest that we could consider reclassifying you to sophomore standing would be like in October, in time for your registration period for your spring classes, right? So if you are fresh out of high school, you're not taking Intro to Marketing in the fall, but if you are truly a transfer student coming from somewhere else like county college, then transfer students are generally sophomores, juniors when they come in. So Intro to Marketing is definitely something that you could choose when you come this summer for your transfer registration day, okay?
May I throw 2 cents in?
Of course it's a good course. Of course it's a good course, right, Professor Kalin?
It's a fabulous course, but I'll throw 2 cents in.
Sure.
If you would like to be a marketing major, then I'm going to encourage you, if you're a transfer student, to take Intro to Marketing immediately. Don't delay. You have to take that. It's a prerequisite for all of our other marketing classes. And if you're transferring, it means you probably have 2 years or 4 semesters, unless you extend, to finish all of your requirements. And as you notice, we have about 8 of them, which would be half your courses in those 2 years if you don't place out of one or the other. And so I'm going to encourage you, don't delay. If you believe it's something you're excited and interested for, join us as soon as you possibly can squeeze it into your your schedule. And I think my students who are aboard would tell you the sooner you can get past the intro courses and probably the other basic required of market research and consumer behavior. Market strategy is generally a senior level course for first or second semester, and you'll get much more out of it if you delay. So I encourage you that as well. But don't delay joining us. Start on the beginning of the process, and we'll be happy. Our whole department will be very happy to see you. Thank you.
Question about computer science and minor in marketing. So a loaded question. So if you want to major in computer science, you have to go to the School of Arts and Sciences, not the business school. And we don't have a minor in marketing. So the way that you would do this is if you had an interest in both comp sci and marketing, you would enroll in the business school. From the business school, you can do the major in marketing, and you could either do a minor in comp sci or a second major in comp sci. I should just let you know that that is very, very credit intensive, because you know what, you already heard me say earlier that a marketing major is about 57 credits, and computer science is somewhere in the 40s, I believe. So pretty credit intensive. To be able to double major in something business and comp sci, you're maybe looking at an additional semester or at least some commitment to doing summer session courses along the way to not fall behind. But if you decide that computer science is your first love, not a problem. You could say transfer out of business, go to arts and sciences to do computer science, and we have a minor in business administration. It's not a minor in marketing, but it's a minor in business administration, and that includes the introductory marketing course. Okay, but students that are kind of torn between something at SAS, School of Arts and Sciences, and the business school, my recommendation is you always go to the professional school first, or the school that was harder to get into, because that school usually allows you to take whatever you want in arts and sciences, and you can figure it out from there. If you decide that you don't want us anymore, you want to go to arts and science or comp sci, our feelings aren't hurt. We just want you to get your degree. But it's harder to transfer into the business school after the fact than it is, say, to transfer to arts and sciences after the fact. So you probably want to start with us and see how it goes, okay? Because we would certainly let you take comp sci classes while you're with us. Perfect. I was planning to live on College Ave. I love that. Yeah, College Ave is fun. Lived there 1 year, many moons ago. Okay, we already answered this about future leaders. Okay, so we don't have a marketing minor. Basically, the minors that we have in the business school are minors that we offer to students that aren't in the business school, if that makes sense, okay? So we have a minor in business administration and a minor in entrepreneurship, but they're for students, say, at arts and sciences. However, keep this in mind. Let's say you decided to major in finance, but you really like marketing too. You could declare marketing as major number 2, and you're only committing to another 21 credits. Right, 21. A standard minor at Rutgers would be 18 credits. So for 21 credits, if you're a business school student, you can have a second major. And the reason that is true is because remember, well, actually, don't remember, I don't think I explained this yet, but once you finish pre-business, you move on to business core. That's a set of 12 courses that all of you have to take no matter what your major is. So even if you're a marketing major, not a management major, you're still taking intro to management, still taking intro to marketing. So we have a core set of classes that every student in the business school is going to take, right? Once you complete that, it's not like we make you take it again for major number 2. You're already done with business core. So to complete a second major in the business school, you're just committing to that part at the top of the pyramid, the additional 21 extra credits for marketing or 24 extra credits for supply chain. So as a business school student, for a time investment, a credit investment of barely more than your standard minor, you could actually have a second major. So that's kind of a neat perk. So no minor in marketing, but go ahead and do the second major. That's 21 extra credits, okay? So I hope that was helpful. The main difference between minoring and majoring in business, like I said, we don't really have a minor in business, but if you're at arts and sciences and you do minor in business administration, that is basically 6 courses that consists of all of the introductory courses in the 6 majors that the business school offers. And you could only be a business administration minor if you're not in the business school. The reason for that is everything that's in the minor, that's part of your major anyway. So it's like everybody in the business school is automatically a minor in business administration because you have to take all of those required courses. Scrolling through here, Livingston definitely has the best food. Yeah, I'll vote for that. Right. I sometimes ate at the Brower Commons as an undergrad, so that's, yeah, they're not lying. Livingston has, Let's see, now we see your other questions. I would be taking my third semester in the fall, transferring from SAS. Oh, got it. Okay, so the transfer question before. All right, so if you're coming in as a school-to-school, I hope you submitted your school-to-school transfer application, Oakley. It's due on April 30th. That's still the deadline, even with COVID-19. So just encourage you to get your school-to-school transfer app in, Oakley. But yes, so you would be able then, as a rising sophomore at Rutgers, you would be able to add intro to marketing. But just so I'm clear, you wouldn't be adding it in April when you do your pre-registration. You have to wait until you're officially admitted on or about the 1st of June. And once you're admitted and your school code changes from SAS to the business school, then you can do things like edit your fall schedule to include things like intro to marketing, management skills, supply chain, intro to management. So there are a number of general business core classes that we let our first semester sophomores take. So that would include you, but you might not be doing that kind of schedule editing to business course titles until you are officially admitted around the 1st of June. Let's see. Third semester in SAS. Is psychology and marketing double major credit intensive? Well, it's credit intensive in that psychology is your standard 36 credit major at arts and sciences. Most of their majors are 36 credits. So it is totally doable, you know, as long as you plan well. Make sure that you get a gen psych done during your first year so you can move on to the other major requirements. That's probably a nice combo, something like psychology or sociology with a marketing major. Would you agree, Professor?
I like that. I was a history major, but I believe there's a lot of psychology in marketing, and you will find a lot of supportive information reinforcing each other, I believe. So that's a very interesting combination, and marketing companies like psychology kind of people. They do. So that could be a very nice set of criteria of things to bring when it's time for you to go out there. So good luck. I think that was Marcus. Good luck, Marcus, on that.
How would a business analytics concentration affect my schedule, and what are the benefits? Okay, so doing a concentration, that's only 3 classes, not 6. So the answer is it wouldn't affect your schedule too much, but that's something you wouldn't be declaring until you're an upperclassman, because you have to get through a number of business core classes, and before that, pre-business, before you worry about a concentration. So that's something you would be declaring like maybe as a junior. The benefits, are any of my students here BAIT majors or concentration in BAIT? No? Okay. I don't know a whole lot about BAIT. I just know that when they leave RBS, they get really good offers with good salaries. So having the business analytics component is never a mistake. So I think you would benefit from that. I see that Oakley did apply for that school-to-school transfer. Thank you for letting me know. How easy is it to transfer from one professional school to another? Kind of a loaded question. Are we talking about transferring to like engineering? If so, you just need to be mindful of getting science courses done in your freshman year, things like Gen Chem, things like Gen Physics, Calc 1 and 2. So get going on what the School of Engineering would expect you to, you know, have at least started before transferring to them. Jay, if I misunderstood your question and you're not talking about transferring from business to engineering, then let me know. On Livingston, yes, absolutely. You can request Livingston. You can request any of the campuses. The only thing on Livingston you wouldn't get is the apartments. At Rutgers, apartments are for sophomores and up only. But there is a lot of traditional dorm space on Livingston, namely the towers and the quads. But absolutely, freshmen can request Livingston, College Ave, Bush, which is also on the Livingston side of the river in Piscataway, and Cook Douglas. A lot of people who land on Cook Douglas are kind of, oh, I didn't want to live there. And then they fall in love with Cook Douglas. I think it's the prettiest campus. It has the nicest amount of open space. That's where you have the college farm. That's where you have the Seeing Eye Puppy Raising Club, near and dear to my heart. We have a new Seeing Eye puppy in my home now, since all the students were sent home, right? So I have a new puppy here, and we are fostering another Seeing Eye puppy because sadly they had to suspend dog training with COVID-19. Yeah, so a lot of cool animal-like things are over on the Cook Douglas campus. And again, a lot of pretty open space. Jay, transfer from business to nursing. Okay, so that might be harder to do just because they accept such a small class
of the
to do it. Jay, what you would need to do then, more important than chem or physics, you need to get going on things like Gen Bio 1 and 2. Gen Bio is something you might not be able to get until the add drop period in September, pretty much because, you know, I'm a business school freshman dean. They close my students out of Gen Bio when we're setting up your schedules in the summer because they need those bio sections for all the science majors at pharmacy and engineering and arts and sciences and SEBS. But I've known many students to be able to score a seat in Gen Bio 1 if you're patient enough to wait until the add drop period around Labor Day. But you need to be mindful of doing things like getting, you know, pre-calculus done if you place at that level in math, getting Gen Bio done. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of nursing stuff that they would expect because most of their classes are for their nursing students only. You might be able to land a seat in human anatomy, and that might be helpful. But basically transferring professional school, keep your GPA up. That's the .1 thing they're going to want to see. You know, especially for all that sciencey stuff. I mean, engineering, they realize those physical science classes are killer. And I think they're just looking for a 2.5 to transfer to engineering. Nursing might be looking for better than that. They might be looking for closer to a 3.0. You would have to check their website to see, okay? Also, if you haven't yet committed to the business school, it's you know, not too late to choose nursing as your school of enrollment. You can contact undergrad admissions about that, see if it's not too late to consider you for nursing if you didn't check it off on your original admissions application to Rutgers. There's some schools, students that don't take advantage, you know, when you apply to Rutgers, you're allowed to check off 3 schools on your application to be considered for. And I know many a student that say, oh, I didn't know that. And, you know, that's what your application fee paid for. So if you didn't check off 3 schools for consideration for an admissions decision, it's not too late to reach out to undergrad via email and ask to be considered for nursing. But if that's a no-go, like I said, you should be able to do a school to school if you're mindful of getting some of your bio done freshman year. I think we reached the end of the questions. Does anyone have any more for the professor before he signs off and we let you go to the real estate session if you're interested?
Just like being in class. End of session and class is over. No questions right at the end, right, Katie? And I guess Mariana's still there. Right, questions come early in class, but generally not at the end.
Right. They're packing their backpacks right now, as it were. So,
well, I know that I joined Dean Shatner in saying thank you all for coming today. Once again, we hope that through her leadership and my background a little bit, and our students as well, who I also thank very much for joining us today, that we've given you a bit more things to think about, opportunities to consider, and we look forward to seeing all of you next fall.
oh, I see that someone said they joined late. Do we have a record about this session? So this session will actually be recorded, and a lot of them will be uploaded to the undergrad admissions website, and also to the business school website. So usually it's like a day after the WebEx sessions, we have the recording. Professor Kalin, you're sending it to, you can just send it to me and I'll get it to the right people. But basically it's Dan Stoll in communications and Barbara in undergrad admissions. So they're supposed to be uploading these recorded sites for people that had other commitments. I'm trying to think, if you had any follow-up questions, you can send them via email. You know what, I'll type the first year email in here. Can I put your email in too, Professor Kalin?
Certainly.
Marketing specific questions. What's your, is it mkalin at business?
Yep. Or rutgers.edu or business.rutgers.edu. I will tell you people, if you come here, you get lots of email addresses. So we're very generous with those.
Right. So this is Professor Kalin. If you had something specific, I just put it in chat. And for if you're an incoming freshman, we have a generic mailbox that one of my freshman advisors responds to on a daily basis. Just be patient if you email something to us, especially me or the first year advisors, because open house, virtual open house was this past Saturday. So that's when we come in on Monday morning and our inbox is explosive, like 250 unread emails. So we're not ignoring you. We'll get back to you as soon as possible, but just know that in heavy times, it's not unusual to wait like 2 business days for a response, but we will get back to you, okay? This is the first year mailbox, just first years at business.rutgers.edu. It was a pleasure speaking with you all this evening. Thanks for being so patient in submitting your questions in writing. And we hope that the recorded session will be up for you soon, all right? And we hope to see you in fall. See you in September, as they say, right? Or maybe I'll see you virtually in a few weeks for those APA days, okay? The advising days. Good luck with your college journey. Anything else to add, Professor?
Have a great journey. Learn something new every day. Never stop learning. There's so much exciting stuff in the world to learn. That would be my word of wisdom at the end. Learn at least one new thing a day. You'll be amazed what you learn.
Terrific. All right. Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure speaking with you this evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you, Professor.